Hey everyone, we're back again. We're talking about the definition of religion. And another thing that I want to kind of talk about as a definition of religion is this concept by Paul Tillich, um, who he calls, that he calls an ultimate concern. Now, does religion require God? Uh, and tradition, of course, says that it does, right? You wouldn't think of religion without God. But if we can kind of create, like I've been trying to do, create a system of understanding all this without forcing people who are uncomfortable, like young people, with um, religiously words, then there is certainly an openness that people could have toward coming together to really understand what these concepts are without feeling like they're having to buy into some kind of system that people are hesitant to do. Right? So trying to find, a middle ground. That's kind of my goal here. So Paul Tillich defined religion as essentially an ultimate concern. He said that religion is the state of being grasped by something, right? Something important, something that you can prioritize, right? If I said, can I have the pen in your hand to destroy or your phone? Obviously, you would give me the pen. And if I were to say, well, could I take could I take your phone and destroy it or burn your house down? You would give up the phone, right? You could just go buy a new one. We all have priorities, and if we have priorities, right? If we have some kind of categorization of different things that are important to us, then there must be, by definition, one thing that is above all the other things that are important to us, an ultimate concern. So, something that would cause us to sacrifice everything for. It's the most real, most important thing to us. You kind of give these qualifications for something to be an ultimate concern. It has to help us struggle with the ultimate meaning of life. It has to have some kind of value. It has to give some kind of purpose to everything else we do, right? Like, we'll go on. We also have to feel an obligation, something, everything must be sacrificed for this thing, right? In order for it to be an ultimate concern, it has to meet that. And thirdly, it has to be real. It can't be unicorns. It also can't be like yourself. Yourself can't be like your ultimate concern. I mean, you do things for yourself, right? And we're all like making ourselves better in an effort to be, the best self we can be. But that's not the ultimate. It's not the ultimate concern. It's not what gives us meaning. Ultimate includes the object of our concern and the passion of our concern. Um, in this definition, a person is acting religiously even if they don't recognize it or admit it. Okay. So let's see. Also, here's a couple of quotes that I really liked. He said, religion is an ultimate concern, an ultimate commitment. Even atheists have an ultimate concern because a human being deprived completely of a center would cease to be a human being. And here he says, religion is a state of being grasped by an ultimate concern, a concern which qualifies all other concerns as preliminary, and which itself contains the answer to the questions of the meaning of life. Um, so when we talk about concern, it's the object of our passion, right? It's a thing. Ultimate is the passion of that concern, right? So don't make the mistake of thinking, and a lot of students have done this, that ultimate concern means the thing I'm most worried about, like getting into grad school. That's not, it's not the thing you're worried about. Oh, I'm worried about Corona. That's my ultimate concern. No, that's not what it is. It is one's highest priority. Excuse me. Sometimes people make the mistake of choosing things that are material, right? You buy a new Corvette and you're like, this is my ultimate concern. Everything I do is focused on this thing. I go to work so that I can buy uh, a cool stereo system for my Corvette, right? And everything in your life goes toward this Corvette, and you make it your ultimate concern. The problem with this is material things can be lost. And this Corvette lover is, one really bad Sunday driver, this way, this lady, um, from pulling out into an intersection and his car being totaled and um, and left feeling empty. Everything that he had worked for, everything that he was struggling for, was gone, and that is a huge danger. Unfortunately, um, so what would you say is the number one response when people ask, "Well, what is your ultimate concern?" And of course, the answer that comes to mind for most people is family. That's the thing that I would die for. It's the thing that I would, um, I would struggle to make sure is done for, and I would sacrifice for. It gives me meaning, right? The danger, of course, is if we're talking about our parents or a spouse or a children. Um, if they die, they could be taken away just the same as a Corvette, and that can be really dangerous. I in a personal share in 2013, my wife and the mother of my kids, she passed away with a heart attack, and I had to process that, right, and kids had to process that, and so did her other family, like her brother, and her brother I make a specific example of in the sense that he was married with kids too, and he found that he could not move on from that, and he would spend hours at the cemetery smoking and drinking there, and he ended up in divorce and just lost his job and these kinds of things. Is this and that's kind of the example of what happens when we make particular people our ultimate concern, and that's a real danger. So now the question you're probably asking is like, okay, so now what? If family can't be my ultimate concern, and I'm saying, hold up, family is still not the wrong answer. If we talk about love of family, it is the right answer, as long as it's not limited to particular people. Look, family is always evolving. People come in and out of our lives. Friends and family come in and out of our lives. I mean, when we were younger, did we have friends who came over to our family birthday parties, right? Or maybe, as we started into sports, we were on particular teams, right? Say if you were on a hockey team and you got really close with that group of players, and somebody runs the goalie, and you throw your gloves down, you go and fight that person, right? You're willing to put yourself at risk um, in order to defend them. And then the next season, you're on a different team. You don't even know that kid, or that kid is not on your team anymore, right? Best friends come and go. Grandparents die. The people that you were friends with middle school transition from the people you were in high school with. And now that you're in college, how much do you even talk to those absolutely essential friends, right? A boyfriend or girlfriend might become really important, and then we break up. College students move away from home. Family always changes, but family will always exist. It's just the people in those families will change. So if love of family is our ultimate concern, shouldn't a religious person have a problem with this? Right? People say, well, wait a second, shouldn't your ultimate concern be God? Right? Shouldn't God be the focus of our religious commitment? And the argumentation doesn't leave God out of it. And next video, we'll talk about